Thank you very much for joining us for this webinar. The title is Redwood for Procurement. So to mention that there is a Q&A section in this webinar. However, it's important to mention that we have a comprehensive FAQ section towards the end. So you might want to just postpone any questions just until you've seen that bit. But we do have the Q&A if needed. So let's get straight into it. I'd like to introduce Deepansh, the ERP support analyst at Namos. So over to you, Deepansh.
Yeah, hi, welcome everybody. I hope I'll answer a lot of the questions that have been arising regarding the 25C deadline. And today we are mostly going to focus on the responsive self-service procurement. And I will try to answer questions around other areas as well. But let me start sharing my screen and get right into it. So let me know, Yayan, if you can see my screen. Yeah.
Yes, it's not in presenter mode.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. All right. So as I mentioned, welcome to the Namos user group webinar for responsive self-service procurement. Agenda for today is very straightforward. Getting started with the Redwood UX and what it offers for procurement basically, and then I will show you what the differences are between the Classic UI and the Redwood UI. Then we will go through some of the recent updates that have come out from Oracle and from their upgrade releases. And then, as Yayan mentioned, we have a frequently asked questions section, which should answer lots of the popping questions that have been coming out because of the 25C deadline. Then I have also included, some of the important features that have already been made available as of 24D. Because a lot of us are not aware of everything that has come out because of the manner in which it has come out. With each upgrade there have been few added functionalities, and then I will also take you through some of the ERP Redwood packages that Namos offers. So let's get straight into it because I've got a lot to cover. So getting started, how to access responsive self-service procurement experience. Most of you would have already seen this. There are two tabs now for purchase requisitions. One is the old one, Classic UI, which is purchase requisitions. And then there is a new one, purchase requisitions new, which takes you to the responsive self-service application. This is how it used to look in the previous world, the old self-service procurement application, and this is how it looks now. As you would see, you can have guided journeys added on. You can have purchasing news added on to your responsive self-service procurement, and then you have your preferences and shopping lists on the top right. So you can go there and update your preferences. This is how the preferences screen looks, where you update the requester, the procurement BU, the delivered to location, and your charge accounts. So you can have your multiple charge accounts and make one charge account favorite as well. And this is the main reason for going into Redwood UI is to make it more user friendly, bring in more of the new age features, which basically talking about fuzzy search, filters, and then we have some of the AI features that will be embedded into the Redwood UI. So that's the main reason behind transitioning from a Classic UI to the responsive self-service UI. As you can see, this is the self-service procurement tab, where you have your recent requisitions on top, then you have your featured categories, and then at the bottom you have also a button for non-catalog requests. This is the My Requisitions tab, where you have fuzzy search and a few filters that have been enabled. For example, you can filter based on requisition status, line status, or action required. Then you have the cart, the third tab on the bottom of the screen. So once you add your items into your cart, you can go into your cart and basically update anything you like. So on the top requisition summary, if you edit on that, it opens the requisition header information, where you can put in your requisition header information. If you go into each of the item and edit them, those are your requisition lines. So you can have requisitions line information updated there. That was a basic introduction, which most of us have already seen one way or another. But I just wanted to give a recap and introduce you to the Redwood UI. Next up, we have the recent updates and feature releases. So as of 25, these are as of 25B, because sorry, 25C. There has nothing has been come out for 25D yet, but it will mostly be on new feature sort of thing. As of 25C, the responsive self-service procurement, as stated by Oracle, is at parity with the classic UI. So you should have all the functionality that you had in classic UI in the responsive UI. So let's get into it now with the new features. Selecting a recently used location has been enabled now. So whenever you go in to enter your deliver to location, now you will see some of the locations that you have recently used. Earlier this was not the case. You can view lines in the shopping cart in a table layout. For some of the users, this was an important feature, because it was quite staggered, and they wanted it to look in a table. They wanted to look at the lines in a tabular format. So this is not this view isn't enabled by default. You have to actually go in and set up the profile option. And if you are interested in doing so, the profile option is mentioned here, or you could reach out to us and we can help you with that. Then you have an option of exporting the requisition search results to Excel now. Basically, you can filter your requisitions based on any of the filters available, and then you can download up to 10,000 records for both requisition headers and lines. You would also see that there is a tab around here for just to the left of the download button that shows requisitions and lines. So you can either click on requisitions and just download the requisition headers, and you could select the lines, and then that will download the lines as well. Then information catalogs have been enabled now, so you can view informational catalogs during shopping. So just on the screen where you see all the catalogs, if you search, you will see the informational catalogs as well. Then you have duplicate option available to duplicate any of the cart lines that you have added, any of the items that you have added in your cart. So you can now duplicate them and modify accordingly. Another feature that has been enabled now is viewing the requisition PDF. So for your requisitions, now you can export them as PDF, just like purchase orders. You can also search and select items using some of the item attributes. You can search with any keyword and click the more search options link. As you can see here, manufacturer name, manufacturer part number, category name, all those things. Then you have the option of searching and viewing the supplier number when selecting supplier. So now you can enter the supplier number in the supplier field, and it should bring up your supplier that is linked to that supplier number. You can edit multiple lines in the requisitions. Then you also have this shop by category enabled now in 25B, sorry, where you have all your categories listed here. These are all your featured categories. Then you now have the recoverable tax finally visible on your requisition summary. This was initially not enabled and you could only see the non-recoverable tax. This has been enabled now. You can also view receipts for your acquisitions using a Redwood page. So you don't need to give procurement agent to everyone in the team. You could basically have your requesters look through purchase orders, look through their receipts through the requisition screen itself. So if they click on the requisition number, it will open up, if you click on the receipt number, it will open up the receipt, just like, just like it does with the PO number. Then you have the option of editing tax attributes on multiple requisition lines. This was previously hidden and you could go in VBS and make it visible, but now it has been made visible by default. So you can still choose which fields you want to view and which fields you want hidden. So you can hide them again. Then right next to your preferences where you have your shopping list, now there is option of smart forms. This was a major issue when responsive self-service was initially released, that uh, suddenly the smart forms had vanished and you had to create a featured category and then give that featured category, assign that featured category to each of your smart forms in order for them to be visible on the front page, on the landing page. But now, just like shopping lists, you can see all the smart forms, and then it will open up and list all the smart forms. Again, you can search on these smart forms according to your requirement. This was the one feature that Oracle, so by 25B, it was already at parity with the classic UI, except this feature. So now this feature is also enabled, which is basically shopping for goods and services using an employee procurement card. So that's enabled now. You have the option to confirm receipts, to resolve invoice holds for pending receipts, and then you can basically edit the receipt if that's needed. You can also view the purchase order PDF as a requester. As I mentioned, from your requisitions, you can access your receipts, you can access your purchase orders, and when you access your purchase orders, you will also be able to view the PDF of the purchase order. You can print or save your PDF for later use, and you can do that from the view order page and then clicking on the view PDF as highlighted. Then you can also search for agreements and supplier sites using additional information. So basically, you can search with the supplier name and it will list all the agreements for that supplier. And in the supplier site LOV, you can select the procurement BU to which the site belongs, and it will bring up that site for the supplier. You also can refine your acquisition search using the requester or preparer email. Now, if you know the email, but you don't know the requisition number or anything, you can just pop in that email and it should bring up all the requisitions for that requester or preparer. We are on to the frequently asked questions now, because I will also go through some of the features that have already been enabled and available since 24D. But I wanted to spend some time on the frequently asked questions, because these are the pressing questions that have been coming to us for a long time now. And first one is basically the major question: will Oracle turn off access to the classic self-service procurement application when you receive your 25C quarterly update? And the simple answer to that is no. Oracle will not turn off access to the classic SSP application in 25C. Nor it will automatically enable it for you, unless you have communicated it, and unless you have enabled it yourself, or Oracle provides a further communication where they say that we are just going to enable it for everyone, which is very rare. So as of 25C, the classic self-service procurement application is retiring. What that means is that it is being decommissioned. What that means is that it will no longer receive fixes or enhancements in maintenance packs or release updates. So basically, Oracle is not going to touch that part of the application anymore. They will not release any new features in classic self-service procurement. They will not, if you have an issue with some of the functionality in the classic self-service procurement, uh, they will probably basically not provide any support for that, because as per them, that part is retired, and they have already communicated that as of 25C, customers need to move to the Redwood self-service procurement application. Is the Redwood self-service procurement application at parity with the classic application? Yes, I've already mentioned as of 25C, responsive self-service application has all the features that the classic application had, plus some other features which are quite useful. Uh, does the RSSP uptake timeline apply to Redwood self-service receiving as well? No. This is only applicable to the self-service procurement application, which is the purchase requisitions work area, and does not include nor impact the self-service receiving or my receipts work area. Uh, Next up, does the RSSP uptake timeline apply to Redwood self-service supplier registration? Again, no. The supplier registration has already been replaced by the classic supplier registration as of 25A, which means that anyone who is on classic supplier registration, they will again not receive any fixes or enhancements in the maintenance packs or release updates. If you are still on if you use the external supplier registration and you are on the classic supplier registration, it is recommended that you start to implement the responsive self-service supplier registration now, and move all your external supplier registrations to the new UI. Uh, does the RSSP uptake timeline apply to Redwood self-service purchasing or any other procurement areas? No. Uh, as of 25C, it's just the supplier registration, responsive self-service procurement, and receiving, which have all the functionality of the classic UIs. So that's why Oracle have started to retire old applications, and gave this recommendation that you have to move to the responsive application, because some of the other areas of procurement, which is purchasing or supplier portal, do not have the 100% 100% functionality from the classic UI. So there is no deadline, and Oracle have not even communicated any deadlines, any timelines for such applications, when they will have 100% functionality and when they will be retiring. So for 25C till 25C rather, you only need to worry about the supplier registration and the responsive self-service procurement, which is purchase requisitions work area. So only these two have been retired and will be retired by 25C, and you need to start to look to move to the responsive self-service procurement for both of these areas. Uh, I don't need mobile functionality. Why should I need to roll out the Redwood self-service procurement application? This application is not a mobile application. It is a web browser based and can be used on desktops, laptops, tablets, mobile devices for a consistent shopping experience. So you don't need to, even if you don't need the mobile functionality, that's completely fine. You don't need to use it. Oracle are just saying that this application is consistent with all the devices. You can use them across devices. So you don't, if you don't intend to use them on tablets or mobile devices, that's completely up to you. Do we need additional licenses to use the Redwood suppliers Redwood Self-Service Procurement? No, it is part of the Fusion Procurement Self-Service Cloud Service subscription. So no, you don't need any additional licenses. Another question is, I'm not currently using the Redwood theme in my Oracle Cloud implementation. Do I need to use it in order to use the RSSP that is based on Redwood? No, you don't need to you are not required to switch your theme. We are currently in implementation to roll out self-service procurement. What do we need to know? What should we do? So if you are new to self-service procurement, it is recommended that you do not implement the classic self-service procurement and you directly roll out the Redwood self-service procurement, because it's of no use that you train all your users, uh, and it's better you avoid rolling out a new experience to your requesters shortly after going live, which will again require relearning the requisition process. Then we have what privileges roles are required to access the responsive self-service procurement application. So if you are rolling out RSSP progressively and are enabling the procure goods and services using the Redwood self-service procurement application opt-in feature, you can configure roles and assign them to the users who can access RSSP. This allows you flexibility to enable the new experience for your entire company, group of users or individual. Uh, you need to configure roles that contain the two duty roles, which are requisition self-service Redwood application user and requisition self-service user. Uh, there is a new feature which is more prominent now because it's about the time of it's about deadline. So if you are enable the Redwood version as default self-service procurement application opt-in, then you don't need to have any additional security setup. The seeded roles, which is procurement requester and procurement preparer and advanced procurement requester, already inherit the necessary privileges to access RSSP. If you are currently using any custom roles for your users, though, accessing the classic self-service procurement application, then you will need to add the two duty roles that have been mentioned to your custom roles. What is the effort required to switch from classic purchase requisitions work area to using the Redwood self-service application? Well, it completely depends on the level and complexity of your application. It is fairly easy to switch on the Redwood self-service procurement experience, but it does not stop there. If you have any customizations to your existing self-service procurement work area, that will need to be migrated to the new Redwood, the responsive self-service procurement area. And what you need to pay attention regarding any of the basically sandbox changes. If you have done any of the sandbox changes, those will need to be re-implemented using either VPS or any other means which we can talk about. And things that you do not need to worry about, again, we have had this question multiple times, whether our reports will change, whether we need to look at our approval rules, smart forms. You essentially do not need to worry about any of those, because OTBI reports, approval rules, transaction account builder, catalog setups, buyer assignments, control budgets, smart forms, punch outs, any of the DFS and projects, everything will stay as it is. It's just the user experience and the UI that is changing, nothing in the background that is changing. So if you have done any customizations to your UX or UI, that is where most of the changes will affect. But none of your reporting, none of your approval rules, you don't need to worry about any of those. As I mentioned, these are the features that were already available as of 24D. Some of the nice features to have. So you can view the requisition approvers on your requisition. You can also display purchasing news for the requisition view that has been selected for your in your user preferences. So you can have anything added here that you want the requesters to be informed about. Then you can also enforce requester provided description for requisitions. Earlier the description from the first line was added to first line that was added to cart was used as the requisition description. Now, as I showed you initially, the requisition summary area, if you click edit on that, that takes you to the requisition header. So this is the requisition header information, and you can have a completely different description on your header to the description on your lines. So your lines can have specific descriptions based on your requesters preferences. They can have anything added on there based on their own format, and then on the header they can have completely different descriptions. So as I mentioned, you can enable essentially, but after 25C, if you have enabled the new responsive self-service procurement, you should enable the Redwood version as the default service procurement application. If you have done all your testing and if you have trained all your end users, there is no use of keeping the old version still active to confuse the users. So that that was already released in 24D. So you could essentially hide the old one and just keep the new one active. Then you also have the budgetary control on requisitions. This was released around 23D, so it has been here a long time, but just this functionality that should be there is there. So you can provide a value for the budget date, check funds, and then view fund status before submitting the requisition for approval. And now for you can also now view the requisitions life cycle and the document information. So on the requisition there are three dots, and you can select those three dots and see the requisition life cycle, which will show you this sort of information, which will have the line details, related documents. In related documents, you have your receipts, you have your invoices. So it gives the requester added functionality where they can monitor all their acquisitions. They can view the invoices, the receipts, so everything in one place. You can also see the document history, when it was submitted, when the PO was submitted, so things like that. Moving on to the Namos ERP Redwood packages that we offer out of box. We have created a suite of accelerators to ease our customers' journey to the Redwood UX. The packages allow each customer to select what they wish to do themselves and how much support they need from Namos. So these are basically the packages that we offer, going on from the Red package, which just helps you with scoping and providing some of the best practices KT, and then it's completely up to you how you design and how you test your application. From the Red package to the Gold package, where we do everything for you, and we also take care of the hypercare issues, where once you have implemented it in production, we look at all your issues. So these are basically the packages which you can have a look at. And yeah, if you need those packages, then you can get in touch. The cost for each client will depend basically on the package selected, the number of modules needing to be transitioned, and for Gold and Silver, basically the number and complexity of the customizations that need manually recreating in the VB Studio. I've also included some of the important links. If anyone's interested, we can also share these with you. That's it. I've gone through it pretty quickly because I thought I had too many slides. But yeah, any questions and answers, Sasha? Anything that has already been popped in, or any other questions or answers you want to ask? You can pop those in now.
We do have one question in the chat, Deep, and thank you very much for your presentation, really informative. And that is, we're aware that there is a local Gov user group, if you like, or working party for Redwood. But would there be interest in one in general? I'm happy to set that up, or I don't know if somebody else wants to set that up, but it'd be great to have your thoughts on that. If you think that that would be something that was useful that we could do, I don't know, on a monthly or bi-monthly basis, perhaps.
Sorry, Sasha, I didn't get the initial part. Was it related to a general Redwood webinar?
Yeah, no, working party that customers can join and share
Yeah,
their issues
yeah,
and plus points and things like that. So
yeah,
that there's more collaboration around
yeah,
it. And
yeah,
if people are happy for me
yeah,
to set that up, all I would need, because I think we've done a similar one for higher education, but because it's nice to see who you're talking to from
yeah,
a privacy rules perspective, I would just need you to email me in the first instance, giving me permission to share your email when I create the group. Because I think if it's all done on a BCC basis and people don't know who they're talking to, it's not as effective. But I'm more than happy to set that up. There is another question. I think it's in the chat. Hang on, I'm sure I just saw the chat. Yes, the recording will be shared. It will be put up onto our website under Insights, I believe it is, yeah, but we'll share it. We'll share it and send you the link. And the slides can be shared as well. They'll be shared as a PDF, but yep, they can be shared. And then Deep being asked, can you show us the changes around approvals that come with Redwood from a procurement perspective?
there are no changes to approvals. So your approvals will still work the same way as they used to work. Unless it's very specific, and those we can only look at one to one, and there is no general guidance for that. So moving to Redwood is not going to change your approvals, is not going to change your reporting. So those can stay as it is.
That's it at the minute.
I think there's and a couple of other questions in the
yeah. Sorry, let me flip back. Okay, so let's have a look. Oracle guided learning impacts. Do you know if there's any impact on that?
So with the guided learning, you get the option to create an SCM agent, and then you load all your terms and conditions and all your documentation to that agent. Now that works as an AI, so that feeds all that into the system, your policies, all your legal terminology, and then it brings up you could ask the guided learning whether this is allowed, whether that is allowed, and that will look based on the information that you have fed the system, that will try to answer the questions. So impact as such, it entirely depends on you how you want to use it. Again, it is going to be specific to your requirement. So yeah, we're happy to discuss further offline.
Thank you. Can we have a general Redwood webinar, particularly HR modules, as there's limited info on impacts to the business user? Louise, I have already approached Gemma at Namos to request that, so I will come back and let you know the answer as soon as possible. But yeah, it's already been requested, so I'm sure there'll be a lot of interest in that as well. And then the HEBI reports, Deep, you said were fine, but does this apply to BI publisher reports as well that are using data models written in SQL?
Yeah, everything. So all your data models, everything stay the same, because there is nothing changing in the background. All your tables are same. So but these are the points that these are the things that should be included in your regression testing. So whenever you wish to implement the Redwood UI, keep these in mind. You must, even though Oracle says that these are not being impacted, these are your critical areas. So you should include them in your regression testing.
And then there's one coming on chat for custom roles, as well as adding the two privileged. I get my words out. Privileges. I noticed I had to add missing inherited roles to the custom role.
Yeah. So for the custom roles, it's entirely, it entirely depends on how those were set up. Again, we can only take those offline because we will not know what actually went behind those custom roles. But yeah, happy to help and have a discussion offline. So with the custom roles, yeah, you need to have those privileges added if you want to use the responsive self-service procurement. And then there are a few ingest jobs also that you need to run, but those are quite in those were shared in the initial days, and it is widely available in the Oracle documentation. So I did not mention it here, but yeah, there are some ingest jobs that need to be run, and along with the roads.
Okay, and we have, hello, James, hope you're well. You mentioned the supplier registration had moved over to Redwood. Does this change anything with creating new suppliers?
Yeah, just like the responsive self-service procurement, the deadline for supplier registration was 25A. Again, it's the way suppliers are registered is same. If your company, if you do the external supplier registration where you share a link with the suppliers and they enter all their details and submit their details, and then it goes through the approval process. If you use that process, that has been moved to responsive supplier registration, wherein now there is an added layer of security where supplier needs to enter their email address. They will get an access code, and then only they will be able to submit any registration, because that can help in avoiding some of the wrong suppliers or incorrect suppliers being entered into the system. So you can have that enabled, and then the classic supplier registration will move to the responsive one. Again, it will have the same fields which the supplier needs to enter. Those fields are quite customizable. You can use the extensibility features of the Redwood UI. Using VBS, you can make any of the fields again visible. You can make any of the fields hidden, make them required. So yeah, if you use the external registration links, then the recommendation is you should move on to that. Even if you use even if you don't use the external registration, the classic UI is retired now. So if you have any issues with the classic UI, Oracle will no longer support them. So it is recommended that you move on to the responsive supplier registration. It is fairly similar to the classic one with some added benefits and functionalities. So wherever we have implemented it, we have heard good feedback. So it's worth having a look at it.
Cool. Thank you very much. Are there any more? I can't see any more in the chat. I'm just literally putting in the chat my email address. So please do email me if you'd be interested in a mailing list or user group or working party, whatever the format might be online for Redwood. And I'll just post this.
Just to double check, apologies if you've already answered this. Might miss question. What about the new approvals Redwood page? Did you answer that?
Yeah, there's no change in those deep said
so
I
think this is about some other page. I don't get the question. Like, I didn't get the question. So it's new approvals Redwood page, but what about it? Is there a question? Like, is it retiring, or like is it mandatory?
The same person previously asked, can you show us the changes around approvals that come with Redwood? Obviously, from a procurement perspective, I'm not sure if that's
So there are no changes, just that requester can now see their approvers, see where the requisition is at now and who all are the approvals, which I showed briefly. But yeah, happy to take it offline. Just ping me and we can have a quick discussion.
And another one in the chat and the question.
Any impacts on integrations generally?
No impact on integrations.
You're not being let off the hook very easily on the Q&A, are you, Deep?
That's completely fine. This was designed just for this because Oracle just say that it's retiring in 25C and that brings a lot of worry for a lot of people because it the fear directly goes whether they will just remove that application, they will just remove that work area, they will enforce the new work area and then the end users are scrambling for learning. So that's not the case. You still have time till 25C, and even if you want to even if you don't feel comfortable by then, if you users don't feel comfortable by then, you could extend it. That's not recommended by us or by Oracle, but you could still use it for requisitioning. Just that it will not be supported in any issues.
And the one with the new approvals page, Deep, will mail off. Sorry, I can't see any names, so I do apologize. But we'll mail you and take that offline.
Yeah, happy to do so.
Just double check on the Q&A if any more have come in on there as well as the chat.
I can see names, but I don't think you've missed any.
I can see names on the Q&A, but not in the chat. So, oh, hang on. Is there a time? No, is there a time frame if we have to stop using the old system? So you've just answered that. If you want to look at more granular timescales, because they say procurement in general is 25C. If you look at your success navigator, there's a Redwood adoption area. Yeah. And if you go into there, you can go and have a look. I think it's called Readiness for Redwood or something under there. And it will give you a lot more sort of detail, more modular detail then. And that's really quite useful.
Yeah, if there are no more questions, Sasha, I'll move on to the last slide for today.
Sorry, there might be some stuff coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. There is. Hang on, I'm just switching. Can we ask Oracle to stop old Classic being visible and instead make the Redwood the default? We can certainly ask.
Yeah, no. So we don't need to ask Oracle. They have released that option in 24D where you can enable an opt-in feature where your old purchase requisitions is hidden now, and you can just have the new purchase requisition. So that option is there for you to enable. Again, I can share that opt-in feature offline if you just send me a note.
And thank you for the comment. Whoever said Success Navigator is great and helping a lot. That's fabulous to hear. We think it's a game changer. And I know it's time taken to navigate and have a look at it. But once you do take that time, and it's not a massive amount, it is amazingly helpful. So we are encouraging everyone to use it. Sorry, Deep.
No, completely fine.
And there's that standard videos question again.
Video on the Q&A or the chat line?
Q&A,
sorry. Q&A. Sorry, let me just switch. Are there any standard videos for using that show how to input requisitions using the new Redwood screens? Again, if you go into Success Navigator into the Redwood Adoption Center, there's an awful lot of collateral in there. There's screenshots, there's videos. I don't know if there is one specifically on requisitions, but I'm happy to take a look and let you know.
Okay, I think any further questions, we can take it offline.
Yeah.
And people can communicate with their Namos contact.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining. That's all from me. There is, just don't go off yet. There is another slide which Ian will inform you all about.
So yeah, thank
What do
you,
you-
Deepanch. Let me just put a link in the chat as well. This is our next in-person user group, which is at the Lookout in London, which we'd like to invite you to. And as you can see on there, parts of the agenda. Andy McGee from Oracle. We're talking through AI Agent Studio, as well as Daniel Ryan from Oracle. Going through some of the reporting tools to help make better business decisions. Neil Collins as well will be showing you some of the possibilities with extending Fusion using Apex. And Simon Clark will be talking about some of the different possibilities available in Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So I'll put the link in the chat if you would like to register for that. Yeah, so that's a 2 p.m. start till 5 p.m. Followed by drinks and refreshment. And it's a great opportunity to meet colleagues who are in the same boat as you guys. I'm just seeing as well. Okay, yeah, so thank you very much for attending this webinar. If you've got any further questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We will be sending a recording as well as the slides out next week. So that concludes this webinar. Thank you very much for attending.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you, everyone,
Bye.
and thank you, Deep.
Yes, no worries. Bye.